Well, hello there. Good morning to you. You thought we were never coming back, didn't you? We're back. Still Up with Six is back, and you have sunk to all new levels here.
Can I just adjust my chair? I'm just going to be candid.
Here we go. Not a good start here to Still Up. Heidi is sinking as we speak. Hopefully that is not any indication of how the show is going to go. But we are so happy to have you alongside us here on Still Up with Six, of course, where we continue our conversation on social media.
That's right. So tune in and weigh in on the talkers we're going to discuss right now. I'm trying to pull up my live feed here so I can see some of the comments. I'm not quite sure if we're on just yet.
There we go. Yeah, we are. We're on.
We are?
We're on.
All right.
We're on.
Let me see. Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Let me pull up the show here. Do you got it going?
I've got it going.
Awesome. Well, Still Up with Six is back. I know we took a little hiatus for a little bit. And there we are. I just turned down my audio.
I'm having a rough start to the show here today.
All right. Okay, let me collect myself.
Sinking in your chair, having audio issues, but we're back. We're scraping off the dust.
Yeah.
Still Up with Six has been gone for a little bit, but we decided what better way, new year, to re-debut it.
That's right, and I love these chairs. I wish we could sit on them, and our mugs. We've got everything going to get the conversation started. Take a little sip of your coffee. Let's talk about this Megxit. Of course, we're talking about Meghan Markle, the royal family. There's still so much drama. Apparently today there's going to be a meeting with the Queen, Prince William, Prince Charles, as well as Prince Harry, while Meghan is overseas. She's actually in Canada right now. It's really interesting what's going on, because I think this is the first time we're seeing someone from the royal family not wanting to be a royal.
Yeah, it's very interesting. A lot of people, everyone's dream as a little kid is to be a king or a queen or a prince, and Harry's not having it. I'll tell you what is interesting to see. First of all, if there's one person that you don't want to be on the bad side of, I would say the Queen of England.
The Queen, I know, right?
If the Queen of England calls you and says, we need to have a meeting, that's worse than back when you were a kid being called down to the principal's office. That's worse than your parents giving you that look when you're out in public knowing that you're in trouble. Meghan Markle, I think she wants to be a celebrity. She wants to be a celebrity without the hassles of the royal duties. And that's what she's going for here.
It's interesting that you say that, because, I mean, last year we heard her get really candid about being a royal and all this attention that she didn't want and how it's been so hard. She's been so criticized. But then again, she's signing deals to do voiceover projects with Disney. I mean, I can't seem to figure out, and this is coming from somebody who does follow the royal family, I can't seem to figure out what exactly she wants.
I think I have a hard time feeling bad for her, and here's why. When you marry someone whose title is Prince of England, it's going to come with a little bit of attention, and she seems to act surprised that there's a little bit of attention here.
That's true.
And I'm confused as to what is surprising here. Did she think that she was going to live a private life when she's married to the Prince of England? I don't get it. But it looks like a lot of people are a little confused about this move. But hey, each to their own. This is very confusing.
Here's what upsets me about this whole situation more than anything, is that this is actually pulling Prince Harry from his family. I mean, we cannot forget, yes, they're royals. We follow them. We like to talk about them. Everything they do is interesting to us. But at the same time, I mean, this is still his family. He's meeting with his brother, who he's not spoken to. I mean, growing up, we saw them so close to each other, of course, especially surrounding their mother's death. I mean, and now they're not even speaking. I mean, he's finding out that his brother wants to not be a royal anymore through the media. That's a lot. That's a lot to handle. Here's the thing. Thomas says that the Queen decides, not the media, and Thomas is actually tuning in from England this morning, which is really cool to see his insight.
Yeah, absolutely. So he would have more insight than we would about kind of the reaction across the pond there. Interesting question. So if you guys have some thoughts about this, let us know.
Yeah,
let us know. Let's talk about our talker of the day, though, because this was, I thought, an interesting one.
I thought this was so interesting.
So a personal finance class is now a requirement at a North Carolina high school. In order to graduate, you got to take this personal finance class and pass it, which I think, and the majority of our viewers this morning also agreed, is a good idea. I think so many young people are going into the world these days not equipped to handle finances, and then they get duped by credit cards, and then all of a sudden you're in over your head in debt.
Not just that, but you're walking out, a lot of people are walking out of their college experience with financial debt due to student loans. And I think that it's really important for people to be taught how to manage their money. I mean, I think about a lot of the classes that I was required to take growing up, whether it was elementary, middle, or high school, that really did not benefit me. I'm sure a lot of people can agree. There are things that you were taught that you just never think about or even come across in your real life ever again.
But maybe things are changing, because we also heard from an educator on our Facebook page this morning who said she's an 8th grade math teacher, and in their 8th grade math class, they're starting to implement personal finance lessons, which I think is very important. I think that maybe you would glean more from that than you would from calculus or geometry or anything like that. I think it's a great idea, and I think all of us could have used this growing up.
I agree.
You know, maybe as a kid you get an allowance to start to learn the value of money, but then there's this big gap, this big, you know, this empty space in your high school and college years where you're not being taught, you know, how to manage your credit cards or how to balance a budget or, you know, personal finance at all.
I mean, we talk about things not just on the show, but, you know, in general in life, about things that parents should be teaching their kids versus what schools should be teaching their kids. And I think that this is one of those things that could be taught by both. I think that it is important for people to learn about financial stability, how to manage their money. And I think that this is one of the topics that schools should tackle. And I'm glad to see that we did hear from a math teacher, like you mentioned, who teaches 8th grade math here in Central Texas, who says they are teaching this. And this is an awesome idea.
Yeah, Sandra and Thomas both think it's a great idea. If you guys are parents out there this morning, how are you teaching your kids about money? Because it is important.
It's hard, too. It's really hard.
To appreciate the value of money, which I think a lot of kids go into not appreciating the value of money, and then they don't really understand when they get in over their heads on debt. So if you're a parent out there, let us know what your tactics are on how you teach your kids how to manage their money and their personal finances as they move through life.
For me personally, I mean, you brought up a good point of teaching your kids about finances. I was taught with allowance. I learned how to manage my money and save my allowance for things I wanted to buy. I had a short course in high school coming from Becky. I learned to use the checkbook and register and budget. I love that. That's so awesome.
That's a really smart idea. So Becky actually did have that as part of her curriculum in high school. I haven't heard of that. It certainly wasn't part of my high school experience, but those are things that you don't think about, but you use them every day. Learning to balance a budget, learning to spend wisely, learning to save early on, learning to invest. Those types of things you don't learn in high school.
Yeah, it is a tough topic to tackle for sure, but I do think it's important. And if high schools will implement this more often, I think it'll be good. I think that you can only benefit from it is what I'm trying to say, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's take a look at this. Technology making us worse, right? We're so addicted to our phones. I know you guys are watching right now on your phone or on your computer. There are top 10 things. Let's take a look at the things that we're worse at. Remembering passwords is one of them.
Okay.
I'm the worst at that.
So the technology is making it so it's harder to remember passwords, addresses, spelling, and handwriting. Now, this is an interesting one. I don't know if you guys out there have any experience with this, but I wrote something for the first time the other day.
When?
Yeah, right, that's what you say. And you forget, and I kind of forgot some of the mechanics. Not that I couldn't write. Of course, I could still write. But you do. You kind of lose that technique and that skill set.
You do. Yeah. Whenever I have to sign something, I find myself mind blown. I'm like, what is this? But spelling, handwriting, you know what else for me? Grammar. Like when words, you know, you're trying to do like...
That's not good in our line of work.
Yeah, no, it's really not good. But the phone just autocorrects. The autocorrect options really make it hard for you to be good at this when you're writing. Math. Calculator. So easy.
It's right there on your phone.
It's so easy.
And I think that one thing that I think I'm going to add to this list a little bit here, because something that I've never been good at, and I think it's because of technology, and so many people out there are so good at it instinctively because they came up with maps, and they grew up with
directions.
They grew up reading maps and remembering directions. I'm so bad at directions, and I think that's a direct result of technology. You know, when I learned to drive, I've always had that GPS, whether it's the standalone one that used to have, the Garmin, I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
But now it's on the click of a phone, and I've never had to memorize directions, so I'm not good at it now.
Oh, yeah. I think we're all seeing kind of like the real-life implications of having technology and having answers right there at the tips of our fingers, and our smartphones kind of do everything, and it's only going to get worse. So, I mean, prepare for what's yet to come, I guess.
Absolutely. I mean, it's something that's, I think it's probably cutting down on the amount of books kids are reading these days.
Oh, for sure.
And we're losing some skill sets that were a core part of us coming up.
Yeah. Well, here's Thomas saying passwords, typos, dreadful at remembering. Yeah, I have a hard time with passwords, especially with your iPhone now. You just put your code in and it pulls up the password. It's saved. I mean, man, technology.
Spelling's a good one. Spelling's a good one though, because you know you've got autocorrect on your phone. You've got word spell check on Word documents when you're typing.
That's true.
So you know, even Google, you type something in, it has a suggestion for what you meant.
I know, it's crazy, this world we're living in technology. Well, our last story this morning is about this billionaire who's looking for a wife to go with him to space.
Looking for a wife?
Yeah, he doesn't have a lifelong partner. He wants one, and now he's looking for one, and he says that they'll get to go to space together, among many other things. But what do you think about when billionaires kind of put themselves out there in hopes of finding a life partner? I feel like they'd get a lot of applications.
Hey, yeah, I bet they would. And I'll tell you what right now, for any young women out there, there's a lot of ways to find love. I would suggest personally not to go up with a billionaire who's soliciting wives online up in space.
That's true.
You know, he might have figured out a lot of things financially in life. It doesn't sound like he's figured out certain personal things.
And that's the thing, is that you think, you know, billionaire got it going on, got everything going for him, but at the same time doesn't have a lifelong partner. It goes to show that, you know what, love is priceless, in my opinion.
Money can't buy you love, that's what they say.
Yeah. Let's see.
I get lost using my sat. Yeah, I'm with you. Sometimes I take a wrong turn, I've got the directions right in front of me, and I really start to question how I got there.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing that, you know, you don't claim you're bad at a lot of things, but you do claim that you are bad at
There we go.
directions.
So let the record show.
Oh, my goodness. Sad's probably shaking his head. All right.
Look, if Bill goes billion, I'll identify for a wife this year. I don't know if the applications are open to you, Bill, but
maybe.
it could be. It could be.
It could be. Maybe he just wants a partner. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah.
We've got Bill.
Yeah. So Bill's all in. A wife sounds like an escort, Thomas is saying.
Well, yeah, certainly a service.
That is true. Yeah. If you're putting your money out there and using that as a platform to get somebody to love you and go with you to space, I don't know how I feel about it. All right. Well, that's all our topics this morning on Still Up with the 6. We are back. We'll be back tomorrow.
So look for us every morning right after the show.
I thought you were drinking something from your cup. You just revealed you have nothing in it.
I had my last sip earlier today. And before we reveal too many behind-the-scenes secrets here, we're going to sign off right now, and Heidi has revealed there's actually nothing in these cups.
You went like this. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning right here.
Eyes.
On Facebook and Twitter.